You put a lot of time and talent into your music, right? And you probably don't want other people making money off of it unless you do. In this video, I'm going to show you a quick and affordable way to register your copyrights so you can protect your music from being stolen, misused, or sampled without proper credit and proper payment. Hey, it's Chris of CD Baby, and I know that when you make music, it feels like a piece of you, right? And you wouldn't want someone else to just come take that piece of you without your permission, without proper credit, and without paying you according to terms that you had some control over. And technically, while you do own the copyright to your music, it's really important to have documented, time-stamped evidence that you own the music you made. And that's where registering your copyright comes in. But I also know that when your music is new, you're excited, you want to just get it out into the world, and something like registering your copyright, well, that sounds like paperwork, it's going to slow you down, you don't want to do it. But actually, it doesn't have to slow you down, and there are some really important reasons why you'll want to do this as soon as possible. Firstly, if you have registered your copyright and then someone infringes upon it, you can file suit immediately. You can get up to $150,000 rewarded for each infringement, plus you get your legal fees reimbursed. If the infringement happens first and then you go and register your copyright, you'll only get up to $30,000. You'll have to wait 6 to 9 months to even file that suit, and there's no guarantee that your legal fees will be reimbursed. So in short, if you file early, you get a lot of legal protection, and if you wait until later, you get less legal protection. But getting back to the excitement around your release, registering a copyright no longer needs to slow you down. Thanks to CD Baby's partnership with Cosynd, the whole process is easy. I'm old enough to remember filing my first copyright registration, and it was like 20 pieces of paper long. I mailed it into Washington, D.C., and like a year later, I got a note back that said, hey, we need more information. Cosynd takes all the guesswork out of it. They make it really simple, and I'm going to walk you through how it all works. All right, so the first thing you're going to want to do is go to cosynd.com/cdbaby. That's where you can get a discount on the price of registering your copyright. Click sign up for free. Enter in your info, agree to the terms, click sign up. All right, once you're logged into the dashboard, you've got 3 options here. Click register your copyrights. You have the choice of registering music, video, images, or writing, and in this case, we're going to do music. So if you wrote the song and recorded it, then you probably want to do this one, musical composition and sound recording copyright at the same time. If you didn't write the song, maybe it's a cover song or it's an old public domain song, but you made the recording, you'll want to register the copyright for the sound recording. And lastly, if you're a songwriter who has composed a song, but you didn't record it, and you just want to register the copyright to the composition, obviously do musical composition. In my case, I'm going to do both. In the same form, get it all done with quick and easy. If it's just a single song, you do this one over on the left, but in my case, I'm going to register the copyright to an album, which is a collection of songs, multiple works, so I'll click this one on the right. If it hasn't been released yet, you choose this option on the left. In my case, I did put the music out recently, so I'm going to do the one on the right. The name of the album is a mouthful, Filament in the Wilderness. What comes next? All right, release information. Has this been released? In my case, yes. If you have ISRC codes, you can put them here. ISRCs are just track identifiers that you'll get when you release your music through CD Baby. So you can look for that release in your CD Baby dashboard and then go down to tracks and audio. And over here, you'll see ISRC. I'm going to copy that for each of these songs on this album. Make sure you separate them by commas. Then when that's all done, click next. All right, so this is the page where I'm going to add the names of the individual songs on this album. So I click add title, American Dreams. Let's add another title. There's a bird. These are all the song titles. Lotus Eaters, Sandra. Okay, now I have entered all the song titles. I'm going to click next. Which authors should be listed? So this is where they define who qualifies as an author of the work. In my case, it's easy. I wrote all the music and all the lyrics on every song on the album, so it's just me. This section asks about residency, or rather citizenship. So say where you're a citizen of. Did this author pay to have the works completed on a work-for-hire basis? Me? No, I wrote it myself. In this section, I want to highlight and select all of these because I made the recording, I wrote the lyrics, and I wrote the music. And I click save. If you need to edit anything, you can click this little button, but that looks good for me. I'm going to click next. So in my case, I don't have any other claimants on this copyright registration, but I do need to provide my address. So I'm going to click this edit button, save my address, click next. All right, now we have to answer some of these questions. Do any of these scenarios apply to my registration? My registration includes a cover song? No, not in my case. The problem, if you've gotten this far in the application and you do have a cover song, the problem is that you can't claim the ownership of the publishing rights or the composition rights, which is why they're asking here. My registration includes pre-existing content that was not created by the authors, like a sample or it's something that you've borrowed from an existing composition in the case of like a derivative work. Again, for my case, no. My registration includes previously copyrighted content. No to all of those, so I can proceed. Click next. So if you're the primary contact for this registration, you can just click this button and it'll autofill all the information you've already provided thus far. Click next. So here's the page where you're going to review your registration before submitting it. So you'll want to look over it, make sure you're registering the right kind of work, the right kinds of copyrights, name of the album, name of the songs if you're doing a collection, release dates, ISRCs, all that stuff. All right, so finally you're going to get to the payment checkout screen, and make sure you do this step because if you close this out before paying, you're actually going to have to start the whole application process over. So pay while you're here, enter your card number here, and click Pay Now. Okay, there's one last very important thing to do, and that is to actually upload the music you are trying to register the copyright for, so that there's a record of what it sounds like, what's on it, what you're trying to claim ownership of. So click upload, and if you have the album on your desktop or in Google Drive or something like that, you'll want to compress it. So make a zip file of it, make sure it contains only the tracks that you are trying to copyright or trying to register the copyright for. Click choose files, make sure it is this one, which is MP3, is a smaller file type, which means I'm less likely to hit the file size limit. Let's see, yep, that's the one. Click open, and it's uploading. All right, it's uploaded. So I'm going to check this last box to say that everything I have submitted is true. Hit next. I have successfully submitted my application. So it's still going to take a little while to hear back from the U.S. Copyright Office to make sure it's all goes through smoothly, but in terms of actually filling out the paperwork, Cosynd makes it super smooth, very quick, very efficient to just get this paperwork done and submitted. Got a tracking number here, and I'm going to click done. All right, I hope that was helpful, and the process might differ slightly whether you're going to do a single song or an album, or depending on what kind of copyright you want to register. Songwriters will have a slightly different process from recording artists who don't write their own material, but basically Cosynd streamlines the whole thing, so you'll get a good sense from watching this of how easy it is and how they really hold your hand through all of the different facets of copyright registration. And lastly, I just want to remind you, if you want to get a discount on Cosynd, make sure you go to cosynd.com/cdbaby. All right, see y'all.